Scott Sarabon confirms every first-party game will still launch on Game Pass, including Call of Duty. Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. In a new interview with Bloomberg, Sarabon has confirmed that every first-party game, including Call of Duty, will still launch on Game Pass. The new interview with Bloomberg's Dina Bass discussed a lot of topics. Yes, they did. Including the company's upcoming hardware slate, the reasoning behind closing Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks, and Microsoft's store soon coming to mobile. Confirmed in an interview, too, though, was shutting down recent rumors surrounding the Call of Duty franchise. Earlier this week, The Verge reported that Microsoft has been heavily debating whether or not it will launch Call of Duty on Game Pass. Sarabon, however, has seemingly shut down the idea that this is still in consideration, saying that all first-party games will be coming to a subscription service. Transcribed by Xbox Era, Bond said, quote, "And the last piece is about Game Pass. We know our core users love Game Pass. Game Pass is a gaming subscription. You get a whole portfolio of games, but importantly, you get every single one of them." So that's the biggest thing right there, Scott. We still get everything day one going to Game Pass, right? She continues on.
Is that day one confirmed, however, for all of these games?
It's supposed to be, right? But importantly, you get every single one of the games we build day one in Game Pass. And the quality and breadth of those games has only been going up over time. And you're going to see some more really big games going into Game Pass later this year. Dina asked, from Activision's portfolio or? Sarah then replied with, across the whole slate. Across the whole slate. You're going to see some really amazing things, and keeping that as something that is really special for Xbox players is central to us, end quote. So it does seem like Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass after all, but whether or not it includes this year's hotly anticipated Call of Duty Black Ops 6 remains to be seen. I think it should, Scott, because that's the way they stated this. This is how it works. The biggest thing for me is, dude, is Game Pass really making money?
Yeah, I thought we were getting all of the back catalog for Call of Duties as well. So that, in this case, I would definitely expect Black Ops 6, the so-called Black Ops 6, to be brought as well day one. But it kind of shoots my my plan, my theory that I thought they had for how to recover out of the latest week of being the bad guy. Xbox is not being favorable to a lot of the fans this week, and I thought maybe this would be leveraging the Game Pass Call of Duty situation to kind of build themselves back out of that hole that are created. But I think this is a little bit to appease the Game Pass consumer that is disturbed but isn't going to leave the service. Now we know that Call of Duty is coming, and that's going to be a big deal no matter who you are. Everybody plays Call of Duty.
Yeah, I wonder what influx that has then going over to Game Pass and maybe picking it up over on PlayStation, right? Now, if I'm already in the Game Pass subscription model, then I don't even need to worry about turning on my X or my PlayStation. Unless all your friends are there, then you have to buy it over there, right? That's the other side of it. So there's two sides to how this might play out. Very curious to see how it works. Here's the other part. I watched part of the interview. I didn't get through the whole thing yet. I'm about to go back to finish it off once we're done working here. But it's one of those things. Scott, Dina did a great interview, and she phrased it with the success of certain games and the awards. The financial backing was there, right? It made great money. It had great reception. It had great critical reviews. The fans loved it. And yet you shut it down. Why? Sarah did nothing to answer that question. Dude, she completely skated around it and then twisted it back into something else. That's how she answered a lot of these questions. To me, that wasn't concrete enough to go, I don't know if you've gained my trust yet, right? Like, you broke it this week. You need to regain it, and you're not answering. How can a successful game like Hi-Fi Rush solidify the studio's future? In most instances, if you're a indie developer, that is enough to continue them on into the next game. Instead, here, Xbox just shut them down. Sarah went on to say that the gaming industry right now is at a plateau, right? There's nobody else coming into the ecosystem. We're already here. We're all there. We're all playing games already. But they need that to grow, to make them more money. Is that enough? Clearly not,
I
right? With Hi-Fi Rush.
I can't believe that a Hi-Fi Rush 2 was pitched and then shut down right before this all happened. And that's just, it's so bizarre. But I think you're right. If you're going to buy back the trust of the fandom, I think you have to be transparent. Even if we disagree with the business model that led to that decision, I want to be able to see the math of how we got there.
Well, then let's go to the flip side of this whole conversation when Matt Booty chimes in, and I'm paraphrasing here, but I saw a glimpse of him stating that Xbox needs smaller games. Hi-Fi Rush was a smaller game. Dude, straight up, it was a small game, right? That wasn't a big, giant 50-hour, 100-hour game. It was a stealth drop of a small title out of a semi-small studio that made good money, good reviews. Like, I don't know what else you need then in this case. If you come out firing on all cylinders, dude, and you hit 10s across the board, that's not enough for Xbox. That is a problem. So if you're at the AAA level, right? If you are AAA over there, Gear 6 comes out, and you get a 7, the Coalition gonna get shut down next? I doubt it. Dude, I doubt it.
Safe, however.
Right?
They're just, well, you're right, though. There's a metric that just nobody even knows how to hit, and because it just doesn't seem to exist. It reminds me of the Warner Brothers situation. Everybody loved Harry Potter, all over it. But what are they going to do next? No, we're going to pivot to things that you didn't like, such as Suicide Squad. It's just completely backwards. I don't understand.
No, I'm completely lost, a little frustrated, obviously, as you can see in my presence. But it is one of those things like, man, even when you do hit the top, you hit grade A, dude, and it's still not enough. Like, I'm really curious to see what happens now. We've seen a lot of backlash come out of fans going, Phil Spencer should be fired. Sarah Bond should be fired. What's that going to do? Like you've stated it too. Okay, cool. Then you bring in somebody else. They're just going to do the same thing. Are they, being Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer, being told from the powers above to eliminate some of this stuff, right? But I just... Dude,
I think that is the case. I think that is the case simply because everything's being rebranded as Microsoft now. I don't know if you've caught that, but it's Microsoft Game Pass, Microsoft Store.
I've not caught that. Mobile. That's not cool.
I think we're losing the Xbox.
Really? So the next Xbox is called the Microsoft console? Is that what we're getting into?
Oh,
is this?
It's probably dude, not even going to be a box.
They didn't want to go with the Xbox YXYZ or whatever they wanted to go to next, so they're now going to call it the Microsoft box. This is not cool.
Xbox Stadia. I think it's going to be just the box is going to be forgotten. Microsoft Stadia platform. I say Stadia being similar to that. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yep. Ouch. Man, it's an interesting time right now for Xbox and Microsoft. We'll see how the future looks going forward for the rest of the year. But right now, they got some hot water they need to dig themselves out of. But we're not in hot water. We're always just hot. Just check us out. It's itgtv.com.